Well, tech giants like Apple and Amazon are revealing their earnings this week, and here to break down what this means and what more we can expect from business headlines is Market Snacks co-founder Nick Martell. So, Nick, why don't we kick it off with Amazon?
Definitely.
Big week.
Huge week. And as some context here, you've got people in Davos who are hating on tech companies right now, and tech companies are all going to be reporting earnings this week. And Amazon's the one kicking it off. Market Snacks, we like to focus on like the one digestible element of each story. In this case, it's one word, it's Alexa. The focus is all going to be on Alexa. So we know in December that Amazon had like a record holiday period. They sold like 1 billion products, and they even actually sold Echo Dots through people ordering more Echo Dots through their Echo Dots, which is like kind of meta. But the focus is going to be on whether or not the Alexa sales matched analyst expectations.
And what do you think we're going to see?
So we don't know exactly if they did or didn't. But what's exciting is how this relates to the bad news that's kind of come for Amazon this week, which is the Kroger and Alibaba deal, which kind of came out of nowhere. Like, no one really expected.
Were you surprised when you heard that, and why that partnership?
Well, just last June we were here talking about the acquisition. So Amazon comes in, it drops $14 billion for Whole Foods. And they get this like really nice honeymoon period. We were just talking about the cashless stores that they're opening with Amazon, where you actually go in and you just walk out with your products and it's all taken care of through your phone. You have no people, you just have robots.
No one's there to ring you up.
Totally. And this is a situation where that move, which is such a big move in the retail space, is being countered potentially by Alibaba. They're in talks right now with Kroger, which has a footprint in the United States 6 times the size of Whole Foods.
Wow.
So suddenly,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and like out of nowhere now, you have a situation where if Alibaba engages in this partnership, potentially even buys Kroger, they could have an impact that's even bigger than what Amazon's.
I mean, is that the future? I'm going to have a confession to make. Last Saturday on the show, I actually ordered groceries from Costco, and it got delivered to my home in 2 hours. But then a girlfriend of mine I told it to, she ordered it the next day, and she said, do you know there's like a markup in that? And in the individual cost of everything, a mom on the go, it was worth the extra cost for me. But do you think that's the future? That folks ordering from their laptops and having it delivered to their homes? We're seeing the drop of brick and mortar stone, or, you know, is this just the next thing?
Well, not necessarily. And this is why retail is such an exciting space right now, because you don't necessarily see everyone moving to tech. People still want to go into the grocery store. You know, I go in, I like spend 20 minutes just touching the avocados, making sure I get the right one, right?
You don't want bad avocados.
Exactly. So while people are trusting the Instacarts of the world to pick up and deliver their products, they also want levels of interaction in retail. And that's why Amazon's introduced a brick and mortar store here, because they don't necessarily want to just send someone in to buy it for them. People do want to interact with the items. They just don't want to wait in the lines.
Yeah, it's
and
so true.
That's the key, is that when you have these seamless devices, when you can walk out of the Amazon store with everything and it knows what you bought, then you don't have to wait in line.
And speaking of tech giants, Apple and Facebook, tell me about those two companies.
Okay, so Apple, big word here, is going to be the iPhone X. And we reported with, we heard last December that there was an anonymous source in Taiwan that was saying that Apple had actually dropped its expectations on iPhone X sales from 50 million down to 30 million for the quarter. So at first, this kind of got everyone freaked out. iPhone X not selling like we thought it would. But the difference here is that iPhone X, the ones that consumers are actually buying, are the more expensive $1,200 models.
That's so crazy to me. People are really spending that much money.
Totally. And not only are they doing that, it means Apple, while they might sell fewer than they expected, the sales numbers might end up being fine. And they could end up selling a record number of iPhones this year.
Remember the days when you used to get a free upgrade with your phone and your cell phone plan?
Right.
Gone are those days. People paying $1,200 now.
Right, you spend the whole paycheck so you can get your new phone.
When you look ahead to the week ahead, what are some other companies you're keeping an eye on?
Okay, so we're looking at Facebook here. And I know technically newsfeed is 2 words, but we're going to pretend it's 1 word in this case. The focus on the newsfeed has to do with Mark Zuckerberg. And all the heat he's taken over the last year when he was like touring America on this like goodwill feeling situation, getting to know Americans. And he kind of came to the conclusion that his focus, his resolution in 2018 was fixing Facebook. And to fix Facebook, he thinks he has to fix the newsfeed. And by fixing the newsfeed, he means you're going to be seeing more of like these cute baby pictures and all your friends' photos, instead of your friends posting random political arguments all day in the newsfeed. Now, that's kind of freaked people out a bit, because 85% of Facebook's quarterly revenues typically come from advertising. And such a quick adjustment to the newsfeed means that could be affected.
So do you think this is going to work, that he'll be able to clean it up and it's going to make a difference in what we saw?
So he thinks it's going to hurt in the short term.
He does.
He's playing the long game in this situation. But he's taking so much hate. When we were talking about Davos before, you've got people like Mark Benioff, a tech icon in the industry, in Silicon Valley, who at Davos is saying that Facebook should be regulated like a cigarette company. You've got the Prime Minister of Britain, Theresa May, at Davos saying that social networks have become places for terrorists and for pedophiles. Wow. So when you're facing that kind of just hater situation, you kind of have to make an adjustment.
I want to ask you about this trend now.
Yeah.
Thanks to the Trump administration, there's a trend of raising wages, getting these bonuses. We've seen FedEx do it, Starbucks, Walmart, companies like that. What are you seeing? Are more companies going to jump on the bandwagon, and is this really making a difference?
Oh my God, it's like a total corporate FOMO situation. It's like one week you've got Home Depot saying I'm giving $1,000 back to each person. Then you have Disney jumping in and saying it, and now you've got FedEx. So we don't know who's going to do it next, but we know that no one wants to miss out on this, and it's great publicity. I think what's most interesting about FedEx is not just that they're giving $200 million back to employees, but what they're investing in the infrastructure. So they're going to put about $1.5 billion into their hubs in Memphis and in Indianapolis. And the key here is that while there's a feel-good story about what they're giving back to employees, they're really scared about what's happening with Amazon. And just to go back to Amazon quickly, they are becoming vertically integrated. We've heard all the promotional stuff they want to do with drones, but the reality is they're probably going to get into shipping their stuff and replacing FedEx much sooner. FedEx knows that's on the horizon, and that's why it's putting so much money, billions of dollars, into that right now.
People really like to pay for companies that they feel good about, too. So I think on some level there are a lot of, especially millennials, who enjoy investing in companies and spending their money where they're doing good within their company.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a huge part of these value propositions for brands. I mean, you look at the do-good, the feel-good companies, the Toms out there, the Lululemons that are all about having a mission, Chipotle even, having food that's, legitimately produced, even if it makes you sick every now and then. But that's totally part of the mission. The brands know that, and it's how they can engage this generation.
Nick Martell, thank you for joining us, Nick.
Thanks, Rena.